Okay, let's do this. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Niko here. It has been quite a while since I posted my last video. To be precise, I believe 2 years. Anyways, recently I received a lot of Instagram messages regarding my Moody editing style, so I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to start making YouTube videos again. The concept for today's video is going to be me giving you one of my raw files from my past Iceland trip, and then walk you through the entire edit, giving you all the small hints of what I do to achieve my look. I even thought about making this a series by maybe uploading once every other week, giving you the opportunity to go on my Instagram page, choose a photo, and depending on which photo was chosen most, I'll be making the next video. The last time I took this video, the editing part took me 25 minutes, so this time I'll try to cut it down to maybe 8 minutes, and yeah, basically let's put 8 minutes on the clock and get straight into Lightroom. So in this tutorial I'll be showing you how to get from this photo to this. Isn't that good? Okay, let's jump straight into it. Once you have downloaded the DNG file from the Google Drive folder, go ahead, import it into Lightroom, and what I usually do is bring down the highlights to make the sky pop. From there, bring up the shadows just slightly, maybe to like 35. From there, to compensate, kind of bring up the whites. You can also hold down Option on Mac or Alt on Windows to see your white points, and also bring down the blacks to maybe add some more contrast. Yeah, like this. This looks good. From there, clarity, I like having some more details in the foreground. Go on to vibrance. Yes, that looks better, just adding maybe like 20, 30. And moving on to the tone curves, I tend to do kind of an S curve, adding like 2 points, slightly bringing down the blacks and also lifting up the blacks right here to have a slightly faded look. Yeah, kind of like this. Not much. A lot of my work or the changes happen in the HSL panel. So for me, I play around with these, see if I like the changes or not. And yeah, often I go ahead and change my greens kind of towards the orange. Okay, let's do this. Keep these to what they are. Yellows I don't want to change, but greens, maybe bring them slightly down towards this direction. Oh, we'll leave the aqua there so I don't change the color of the lake. Slightly lower the blues because there's such a huge amount of blue haze in the background, so I don't want this to be going towards purple. So slightly towards the aquas to make it more green. Purple, I don't really touch those because I'm most of the time going to desaturate them in the saturation panel. To be honest, I don't like purple in my photos. Okay, I'll be leaving the reds as they are because there's pretty much no red in the photo. Then desaturate the orange because there's a lot of orange in the stone. Boost the yellows a bit to make the jacket pop more. Then the greens, yeah, also add a little bit here. Then play around with the aquas. I'll leave the aquas as they are and pull down the blues kind of to get rid of that haze in the background. Okay, further, let's move on to the luminance. I tend to play around with those as well. Boost the yellows to make the little hill in the background pop, and then I also bring up the luminance of the greens, and from there also see what the aquas do. I like to brighten them because of the lake. And blues, I tend to lower my blues to make the sky like a bit darker and have the texture of the clouds come out a little bit more. And then let's see what the purple is doing. It's just darkening the rocks back here a bit. Okay, a lot of my changes also occur in the split turning. I tend to add some, let's see, I'll be maybe adding like very subtle like warm tones to the highlights, this, and from there also lowering the, like making the shadows a lot more blue towards here. From there, most of the time I don't do anything else with the sharpening. Most of the time I'm leaving it as it is, but I do remove the chromatic aberrations, do some gradient filters, local adjustments, bring down the exposure of the sky, maybe even the highlights as well, boost the clarity, then also the haze. The haze is a great feature. Since they brought it out, I used it so much because look at the difference. This is just the haze slider, and yeah, I pretty much like this. From here, I'm pretty happy with the results so far. I'll be going back into the HSL and changing my colors. We'll be adding a little bit more of the yellows and maybe some more greens. And I could bring up the aqua to have the lake pop a bit more. What we also could do is, let's make it simple since I wanted to keep this tutorial short. Flow 200, auto mask, and click here. So let's see down here, you can see what the mask was doing. Didn't do a great job, so go to range mask, select the color of the lake, and then you can feather this, or basically change the amount so selects just this part, because the lake has a very distinct color compared to the rest of the image. So this works pretty well. Hide the mask, lower this a little bit, and add some saturation and some highlights. You might have to go in and adjust the areas like here, but this was part of the image. It had some kind of line in the lake, which you can correct with your spot removal tool. For now, I'm just going to deselect some of these parts because I don't want to add more saturation there. Okay, let's go in here, hide the mask, go for spot removal, and just keep going over this line and see what it does. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Could do some changes afterwards, but like this, lower this one, and maybe add some green, like just very subtly. Okay, if you're happy with this result, you can just go ahead over here on presets, create a preset, give it any name, tutorial, depending on what you like to have. I would deselect the, where is it, transform, because every photo is different and you don't want to have all the transform adjustments you used for one specific photo. Most of the time I deselect the exposure. From there, that looks all good and great. Or you could just go ahead, if you want to apply it to a different photo, right click, develop settings, and copy settings. You can, in this case, if you did some brushing and stuff, I would also unselect this one, but the graduated filter is just fine because you can just move it around depending on your sky. Let's copy this. For example, take this photo. This is also another photo that I took at pretty much the same location of Long. And from here, go to right click on here, develop settings, and paste. As you see, this is where I did the brush. So I would go ahead and remove this one. And I might be adding a bit more contrast over here, maybe even more with the tone curves. From here, a little bit more yellow. But you could also do this, of course, with just local adjustments, brushing only over the jacket. But for the time's sake, show you just how to do it without using a lot of brushes. That's it. I hope you found this video interesting or helpful in any way. And since this has been my first YouTube video of me showing my face, I'll be happy to get any of your feedback on anything that I should change for future videos. Okay, thank you and see you in the next video.